Because Islam of the 9th century and later, the Islam that is followed today, where Muhammad has a seerah, Muhammad has hadith, and so on, do not conform to the earliest of available evidence. Earliest of available evidence. Contradict. Do you agree that at least some Muslims in the world today agree that or call Muawiyah as a caliph?
No, he was not acknowledged as a
Who have you heard of this thing called Umayyad Caliphate? Caliphate. Anyone?
They overthrow the Caliphate and they established a dynasty.
Dynasty, that's right.
This is a coup d'etat.
Well, okay, so that's what you think. Now, there are plenty of Sunni Muslims
That is
today
historic.
who would be very happy in calling Muawiyah the fifth caliph, the first caliph under Umayyad dynasty,
The first
Umayyad
ruler, the first ruler.
Caliphate.
The first ruler,
I have a problem.
not Khalif. The first
The
ruler.
problem I have is that I am going to read to you an inscription from none other than Muawiyah himself. I'm going to read to you an inscription from him. This is from the year 58 after Hijrah. And it comes from a place, Al Taif, in Saudi Arabia. And this is a building inscription. You know how when they open special buildings, they have stone, things written on stone to commemorate the opening and stuff. And this is one of them. From the year 58 after Hijrah. It says, this dam belongs to the servant of God, Muawiyah, the commander of the believers. Abdullah ibn Sakr built it with the permission of God in the year 58. Please pay attention to me. In the year 58, Muawiyah, with the instruction of Muawiyah, the dam was built. And it goes on to say, "O God, forgive the servant of God, Muawiyah, the commander of the believers, and make him firm and succor him, and grant the believers enjoyment with it through him." Amr ibn Hubab is how it finishes. The problem is this. This is from a supposed caliph coming not far long after Muhammad, coming only about 46 years after the death of Muhammad. And this is an official document from the top authority of the supposed Islamic world of that time. But the elephant in the room is he has left out the most important person to a Muslim today. Who is the most important person to a Muslim today, sir? The Prophet Muhammad, according to him. And I'm sure if there is any Muslim who knows his stuff, you would agree the most important person in Islam is the Prophet Muhammad. But the problem is, Muawiyah had no time for Prophet Muhammad. Muawiyah, in an official inscription, in a very important site, a dam. Can you believe a dam in Saudi Arabia? Scarcity of water and all these things. A dam is a significant thing and constructed by a caliph, very significant. And a caliph sets up a commemorative inscription. And who has he left out? Muhammad. Can you believe what just happened? If Muawiyah were to live today, some of the zealous Muslims might stone him to death. This would be the fate of who is supposed to be a successor to Muhammad. So problem number one, Muhammad is missing. Muhammad has been neglected. Muhammad has been ignored. Problem number one. Problem number two, it is not just the fact that Muhammad has been, in terms of direct reference, ignored. It is also that even through an indirect reference, Muhammad has been ignored by none other than a caliph, the supposed fifth caliph. Look at the title.
Who said?
Look at the title that Muawiyah gives for himself. What is the title that Sunni Muslims would give him today? A caliph. What does the word a caliph mean?
No, he's not a Khalif.
What does the word caliph mean? Anyone? Any Muslim?
He's not a Khalif.
Any Muslim brave enough to give me the meaning of the word caliph?
No, he's not a Khalif. But he's not a Khalif.
What is the meaning of the word caliph, sir?
I don't know. Explain.
Well, the meaning of the word caliph is successor to Muhammad.
But he's not a Khalif.
Successor to Muhammad.
My friend, he's not
But
a
look at
Khalif.
the problem.
But he's not a Khalif.
I told you that Muawiyah completely ignored mentioning Muhammad directly. He also goes on to ignore Muhammad indirectly. Please come here, sir. You are very much needed here, sir. Islam is in tatters. It needs your help, sir. Islam would never be followed by people who seek knowledge, sir. And therefore, please come here. Please help us out. Please help here. Please stand here, please. We don't need your stool. You are taller than me. That's fine. Good, stand here. The problem number one, I'm going to let you know.
Jesus God.
There we go. Well, the problem we've got here is that he is a recorded cassette. Have you heard of a tape recorder?
Tell me how is
It's a
Jesus
recorded player here.
24/7.
Come here, click a button, goes on to repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why? Because Islam hasn't given him
Jesus God.
the ability to process new information.
How is Jesus God?
He is a faithful Muslim,
How is Jesus
which
God?
in other words means
He's not
brainwashed.
He's not us. Okay.
No new information can enter in. There is an imaginary,
How is Jesus?
there is an imaginary fort built around him.
Jesus.
No new information would get in.
Answer. How is Jesus God?
Hello, my dear friend. Please, would you like to help me out?
Ask. How is Jesus God?
Well, I only told you part of the story
How
before,
is Jesus
and that is that
God?
he is brainwashed.
Yeah, come on.
The other part is he is also desperate.
Answer.
Desperate and
Was
brainwashed.
your God a Jew?
Serious problem here.
Did your God have
Is
a
there
mother?
any Muslim who can process new information who is not desperate, please, sir
Modi.
or madam?
Does God have a mother?
As a Christian, I allow women also to speak. So if there is a Muslim woman out there who wants to please come in, you can.
How can
If
God
not,
be a Jew?
problem number one.
He's an
No
Ahmadiyya.
answer.
That's the problem. He's not a Muslim. He's an Ahmadiyya.
Well, they're looking for the stones, my dear friend. If you... All right. Hey, brother. So problem number one.
All right.
The fifth caliph. The fifth. All right.
That's all he's got.
Okay, the national anthem of Islam is playing now.
Jesus pray.
The national anthem of Islam is playing now.
Jesus pray.
And that qualifies him to be a faithful Muslim. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Do not think.
Does God have a mother?
Don't think. Because when you think, you may leave Islam. So don't think. Are you a thinking Muslim, sir?
Did Jesus
Are you a
pray?
thinking person, sir?
Did Jesus pray? No
Are you a
answer.
thinking person?
How can God pray?
Okay, please come here. Please join in here. So, have you heard of this person called Muawiyah?
Camera.
Sir, your time's out. Please, please, you can move on there.
Talk to me. He's using you.
Look, his beard is longer than yours.
God
He's
pray.
going to threaten.
No, sir.
Oh, he's going to save you now.
No,
Hey,
sir.
whoa.
Talk to me.
That's a young man who I would like to think can think.
Did God die?
Taqiyya.
Did
Hey,
God die?
Your adults would not make you think. I told you before.
Did God die?
Remember, my dear young friend, I told you, are you thinking man? I asked you, remember? This guy would not let you think. Is there any Muslim who would like to think, sir?
I am a Muslim. Answer me.
Well, I know you are a Muslim, I know that. That's not what I asked for. Is there a thinking Muslim, sir?
How can God pray? How can God pray? To this one. Jazakallah. How can God pray?
This is a tape recorder, sir.
Scared.
How can you speak to a tape recorder?
Scared.
How can Allah pray?
How old are you guys?
How can Allah pray?
Are you not old enough to understand that you can't speak to a tape recorder?
God came down. Parrot, listen. Parrot, listen.
You're a paranoid. You're a
parrot.
All right.
Shut them now.
Is there a thinking Muslim? All right, JC, this is very important. Brother Michael, this is very important.
Did your God
Now,
die?
one second, brother. One second, brother.
Make sure.
This is very important now.
You have to put
So-
which to cut. Yeah, come on.
Hey, your beard isn't long enough. Please stay away. All right. All right. Excuse me, sir. No, you have shaved. You have cut your beard. Not good enough. Not enough. All right.
How can God die?
Let's do a simple demonstration here.
Maryam.
One second. Don't engage with him. Don't engage. All right. Hey, don't push me. There's a bulldozer again. Don't push me. Don't push me. Don't push me. Don't push me. All right.
How can God die?
Hey, where is the volume button here?
Jesus.
Where is the volume knob?
What is the point?
Where is the volume knob? All right.
God be hungry.
Excuse me, sir. This is, I think, one of the mobile tape recorders. It moves around.
And your
All right.
preaching isn't
Hello, sir.
formula.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask.
The parrot is scared. The liar, the spirit of fire.
All right.
The liar, parrot is scared.
All right.
This is one of you. The closest one of you that comes
The
anywhere
Academy,
actually thinking himself.
the Academy of Higher Education of Islam is here. The Academy of Higher Education in Islam is here. He is the master of knowing nothing and he wants to train a few people. All right.
Of believing nothing.
All right, sir. Are you a Muslim, sir?
Don't ask stupid questions.
Don't ask stupid
Don't
questions.
ask stupid questions.
Why should I assume you are a Muslim, sir?
Because
I have hope that at some stage you might begin making sense. So it is important for me to ask every time I meet you whether you are a Muslim.
Let me stay the way I am.
Okay.
Yeah?
Well, if you insist on not making sense, you can. All right, please, sir.
Talk to him.
Please, sir.
God die.
Muslims, Islam is crumbling down. Please help.
How can God be a Jew?
Muhammad
How
needs
can God be a Jew?
desperate help.
He said God
Please help him. This guy
Muslims are here.
is a shame. He can't help Muhammad. Not in the UK.
Liar.
He can try helping Muhammad
Hindu liar.
in Bangladesh. Because in Bangladesh, people might appreciate him. But here,
How can
are you
God
from
die?
Bengal, my dear friend?
How can God die?
Are you Muslim? Okay. All right. Is there a Muslim person here? Any thinking Muslim?
Modi, how can God pray?
All right.
God have a mother.
I'm going to read to you
How can God
an
have a
important thing.
mother? How can God have
Can
a
you
mother?
see his problem?
How can God have a mother?
His problem is that he did not complete his course on midwifery. That's his problem.
Which Bible?
No. Only Muslims do silly stuff. Please don't. Only Muslims do silly stuff. Don't worry.
Which Bible?
He is a child. All right. All right. My dear Muslim friends, as you are here, please try and help. I am going to read to you. I am going. Good, good. Oh, the last line of the tape recorder I just heard right now. I heard him say Allahu Akbar. So he's wrapping up. The song is over. Moving on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Coming back to the people who are here, who are friend helped to gather around me. Please, if there is any thinking Muslim, please try and engage here, please. I am going to read to you an inscription. My dear young man, you're back here. I'm going to read to you from an inscription. And this is an inscription which was prepared to commemorate the opening of a dam, the building of a dam. Yeah? And this is in Saudi Arabia, which is in the Islamic heartland. You know when this was done? In the year 80, sorry, not 80, in the year 58 AH. You understand the term AH? After Hijrah, 58 after Hijrah. This was about 46 years after Muhammad passed away. Early enough, not too late. Have you heard of the person called Muawiyah? Muawiyah. Have you heard of the Umayyad Caliphate? Umayyad Caliphate. Khalifa Muawiyah. Good. Yeah? Yes, you know him? So he's supposed to be a caliph. What does the word caliph mean? I don't know. Don't. What is the word caliph? Please join it. What does the word caliph mean? Please answer. What does the word caliph mean? The word caliph means successor to Muhammad. So this is meant to be the fifth successor to Muhammad, who has commemorated building a dam through an inscription in Saudi Arabia, in supposed Islamic heartland. And I'm going to read to you the inscription, the entire inscription today.
There was no Saudi Arabia that time.
Very intelligent. You caught me off guard, you know. Okay, I'm going to read this anyway. This dam belongs to the servant. There was an English also at that time. So clearly I'm reading a translation. This dam belongs to the servant of God, Muawiyah, the commander of the believers. So Muawiyah has instructed the building of a dam and subsequently also instructed the inscription. Let's read. Commander of the believers. What does he say? Abdullah ibn Sakar built it with the permission of God in the year 58. Oh God, he has a prayer also. He says, oh God, forgive the servant of God Muawiyah, the commander of the believers, and make him firm and succor him, and grant the believers enjoyment with it. Amr ibn Hubab wrote this. Amr ibn Hubab wrote this. Well, that is the entire inscription. I'm going to talk to you about three specific problems. Problem number one. Do you like Muhammad, sir? You agreed earlier that Muhammad was the most important person in your life. So, and we live in the 21st century, don't we? So, in the 21st century, to a Muslim friend who is by me, Muhammad is the most important person ever. Unfortunately though, to Muawiyah, the fifth caliph, or who you call a caliph, Muhammad was a nobody. He could not care. He could not care about Muhammad. Why do I say that? He has an official inscription in a dam built, but he doesn't care Muhammad enough to write his name down. All right. Can you just hear what he said? He thinks Muhammad's name is not supposed to be on that dam. Okay, if Muhammad's name is not supposed to be on that dam, can Muawiyah's name be there?
Yes, Muhammad is a king.
Oh, there we go.
He can do anything.
What does the word caliph mean?
He's not Khalif. He's a king.
What does the word caliph mean?
Does it mean ruler?
He's a king.
No, it means much more than that. It means he is a ruler of the order of the successor of Muhammad. In other words, he has taken the rightful place left behind by Muhammad. In other words, if Muhammad's name can't be written, neither can the name of Muawiyah be written in the same place. Except,
He needed to be firm and suckled.
exactly. So the problem is this. Problem number one.
I can't do squid.
Muawiyah is a
Problem number one. Muawiyah ignores Muhammad. Problem number
He does
one.
not ignore him.
Problem
He's
number
higher than
two.
writing on the dam.
You know what the second problem is?
What's the second problem?
Muawiyah did not ignore Muhammad only directly. He also ignored Muhammad indirectly. What is supposed to be Muawiyah's title? Muawiyah's title is supposed to be the Caliph, the successor to Muhammad. But note carefully, this is only a title which later Muslims have given him. What did he give himself for him? He only calls himself the commander of the believers. Very big problem. Neither did he include the name of Muhammad, nor does he say that he is a caliph, a successor to Muhammad. So both Muhammad has been ignored both directly and indirectly. Now the gentleman also said Muhammad's name is not supposed to have been written. Boo, 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 boo. Problem. Because the later sources that come about a century later, record Muhammad's name. They don't care, as the gentleman claimed they care, and therefore they record the name of Muhammad. Only the earliest of sources ignore him. Problem number three. In the Islamic calendar, sir, you understand there is an Islamic calendar for Muslims, don't you, sir?
I'm not an expert.
But you do know. And what would the calendar, in today, this year, what would that year be? 1444 AH. After Hijrah, isn't it? The reference, the starting point is Hijrah, isn't it? The starting point is Hijrah. Would Muslims around the globe understand Hijrah? Is Hijrah very important for you? Hijrah is very important for you, isn't it? Unfortunately though, the earliest of supposed Islamic inscriptions do not refer to a Hijrah. For example, the inscription that I just read to you says that this was written in the year 58. In the year 58, but no reference to Hijrah.
It's implied.
It's not implied. You know what is implied? You know what is implied in this inscription? There is only one thing implied, apart from the number of the year. There is only one thing implied, and that is the calendar began, like with many other empires, the calendar began at the point of the start of the dominion. The term, Arabic term used time and time again in these inscriptions is the term Al-Mu'minin. Exactly. No, it's not the dominion, but the point is the passage has the reference to Muawiyah being the commander of the believers, and that is the only context we have, the commander of the believers. So what is understood, what is implied is that there is a dominion for the believers. there is a geographic area ruled or occupied by the believers. That is the only context employed. No hijrah, because Muhammad is not even mentioned. In other words, Islam of the 9th century and later is a huge fabricated lie. Because Islam of the 9th century and later, the Islam that is followed today, where Muhammad has a seerah, Muhammad has hadiths and so on, do not conform to the earliest of available evidence. Earliest of available evidence contradict.
Vote Labour, sir.
So, my dear friend, the Islam that you follow is a fabricated religion of later times. The Islam that you follow is a fabricated lie. What's that? Well, I'm assuming here. Apologies. Are you a Muslim? Okay, good. Now,
I don't follow the Islam you're talking about.
well, there is only one Islam. There should only be one Islam. Whatever was started by Muhammad, if it only existed. But it seems like going through archaeological artifacts.
I like the historic part. I like the historic part.
Please come here. We'll read to another artifact.
No, no.
Is there any Muslim who wants to engage? Are you Muslim, sir? So, if there is any Muslim here, are you Muslim, sir? Please come here. Please come here. Don't listen to him. The last time he touched a book was many years ago. He doesn't like reading, doesn't like learning, doesn't like to learn anything new.